What's going on, everybody? Kalipus Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to be giving you 10 more tips and tricks for the Motorola Moto G 2026. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to change your display size and text. Now this feature is going to help you make things a bit easier to see if you're finding things to be a bit small on the screen. So to adjust this, what you're going to do is go to Settings. So right here. Then from here, go to Display. So right here. Then from here, go to where it says Display Size and Text. So in this menu, you can change the font size, so you can make it quite a bit larger. And in addition to this, you can change the display size as well. And in addition to this, you can also add bold text and outline text as well. So this definitely gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to accessibility, so it is a nice feature to have. Now I'm going to show you a feature called Adaptive Brightness. Now this is also in the display menu, so once again, in case you missed it, to get to the display menu, find your settings. So that's going to be it right here. And then from here, go to display. So right here. And yeah, so from the display menu, to turn on adaptive brightness, all you have to do is toggle it on right here. And there you go. So as you can see, it dimmed pretty much right away. And this is going to give you a little bit more flexibility. So say on one hand, you want to save some battery, but on the other hand, you still want things to be easy to see. Adaptive brightness lets the phone dim things and brighten things automatically, so it's going to adjust to your environment. Now, make of this feature what you will, because personally, if I'm being honest here, I'm not really a big fan. I feel like the battery life I get with this phone is perfectly fine as is. So I like to keep my phone at 100% brightness at all times, unless, say, I'm in a really dark room and I don't want to hurt my eyes or something. But honestly, most of the time, my phone is going to be at full brightness no matter what. So if you're like me, you might not find a whole lot of value in this feature, but if you do want a little bit more flexibility, definitely give it a try. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your screen timeout time. So we've all been there when you're doing something like reading or sometimes watching a video, depending on where you're watching the video. I feel like YouTube is a bit better with this, but if you're doing something like playing a game, for example, a lot of the time the phone will just fall asleep if you're not constantly touching it, which is super annoying. So let me show you how to fix this. So what you're going to do is go to Settings. So here we go. Then from here, go to Display. And then from here, go to where it says Screen Timeout Time. So that's going to be right here. So as you can see, mine right now is pretty low. I don't remember if this was a default or if I changed it or what, honestly. But for me personally, I like to have it quite a bit longer, just so I don't have to worry about it falling asleep when I'm doing things, especially for these videos. But keep in mind, of course, if you have it on longer, then if you forget to lock your display, it's just gonna stay on, which is not necessarily a good thing either. So depending on how you're using your phone, you might want it to be a bit shorter or a bit longer. But in addition to this, there's also a feature called Attentive Display, which that's going to use your front-facing camera to detect your face, and as long as you're looking at it, the display is going to stay on. In my experience, when a phone has this feature, it does tend to work fairly well. Now, I don't see how I can really demonstrate it in this video, but just keep in mind, with this device, you can expect it to at least work decently. So yeah, it's definitely a nice feature for if you're reading or something like that. So if you do have problems with your phone falling asleep when you're doing things, I do recommend giving it a try. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to use split screen. Now, there are two main ways to do this. First, I'll show you the basic one, and then we'll get into the shortcut. So essentially, to turn on split screen, what you're going to do is go to your recent apps and go to whichever one you want on the top, and then press and hold on the icon right here. Go to split screen, and then select the other one you want. And that's pretty much it. So pretty simple, and then you can resize it with this little bar right here. And then if you want one to take over, just go like this, drag it all the way down or all the way up, whichever one you want to do. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, pretty simple, but there's also a shortcut for this. So to get to the shortcut, what you're going to do is go to Settings. Then from here, go to Gestures. And then from here, go to where it says Swipe to Split. Now, this is not going to be on by default, but once you toggle it on, all you need to do to get to split screen is go to the first app, swipe back and forth like this, select your second app, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, real convenient. Now, I will say there's a bit of a learning curve and it doesn't always work, as you can imagine with a slightly more complex gesture like this. But I will say in my experience it is decently reliable, so definitely a nice thing to at least have. Now I'm going to show you a quick way to turn on your flashlight. So this feature is enabled by default, so you don't have to worry about doing anything to enable it. But essentially, to turn on your flashlight, all you have to do is make a chopping motion, so like this. And there we go. Now I will say it doesn't always work the best when turning it off, but once you get the motion down, let's try that again. There we go. So it's kind of a clunky feature, but in my experience, it's at least somewhat reliable. So yeah, if you want a quick way to turn on your flashlight, that's how you do it. Now I'm going to show you how to enable flash notifications. Now I get questions about this one all the time, and finally Motorola makes it real easy to turn on. So for this, all you have to do is go to Settings. Then from here, go to Notifications, so right here. Then from here, scroll down to the bottom. And Flash Notifications is right here. So by default, it will be off, but if you want, you can enable Camera Flash and Screen Flash. In addition to this, you can also change the screen flash color. So if you go here, you can change it to whichever one you want. So I'm just going to do this color. And now we can preview it. So yeah, pretty cool. Now I'm going to show you how to turn on your battery saver. And I'm going to show you the long way first and then the short way. So the long way is going to the settings. From here, go to battery. So right here. And then battery saver is right here. So there we go. And when you turn it on, it's basically going to turn your phone into dark mode, limit background activity, and essentially just cut everything that might be wasting power. So yeah, definitely don't use this if you have like 90% battery or whatever, because of course you're not going to want to hinder your phone's performance when you don't need to. But yeah, if you're like at 20% battery and not going to be around a charger for a while, then it does definitely help. Now, in addition to this, you can also get to battery saver through the quick menu. So to do this, all you have to do is swipe down from the top twice. So 1, 2. Then from here, go to the icon that says battery saver, and depending on what you've done with this menu, it may or may not be here. It will be here by default, but if it isn't, you might have to add it. So for me, it's going to be in the second page right here, and you can just turn it on. So yeah, as you can see, it went to dark mode. Battery icon changed a little bit, it's yellow. So that's how you know battery saver is on. Now, if you've done anything to your quick menu, it might not be here. So to add it, what you're going to do is hit the pencil icon. So let me show you. Right here. And now from here, if battery saver is not on your quick menu, it's going to be down in this bottom section. So this is everything that you can add that's not on there already. And then all you have to do is just find it, press and hold, and drag it up here. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to scan QR codes. Now, you can technically do this from just your camera app and point it out whatever QR code you're trying to scan. But I've found in my experience it's not quite as reliable as using the dedicated QR code scanner. So to get to this, it is in the quick menu once again. So again, to get to the quick menu, swipe down twice from the top. So 1, 2, and again, it really kind of depends on what you've done with this section. If you have changed anything, then it may or may not be in this exact spot. So you'll have to do what I showed you earlier, just edit it, add it back. But if you have the default settings on here, all you're gonna have to do is find the QR code scanner in this menu. So for me, it's gonna be on the next page, I believe, right here. And with this, you can point this at pretty much any QR code. So let me give you an example. And then this is going to show up, so you can copy it, load it up, and that's pretty much it. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to show you is how to control which apps can use your location. Now, there may be several reasons why you might want to look at this. Maybe for privacy reasons, and maybe just because of the fact that if 100 different apps are using your location in the background, it can drain the battery a bit. So definitely a good thing to keep an eye on. So to get to this, what you're going to do is go to Settings. Then from here, go to Location. So that's going to be down towards the bottom. So right here. And then as you can see, the first part is going to show the apps that have recently used your location. And in addition to this, you can turn location services off completely, which depending on which apps you're using, you might not want to do this because a lot of them do require this to use their full functionality. But if you go to see all, you can see anything that's recently accessed your location. And then if we go back here, where it says app location permissions, tap on this. And this is going to show everything that has access to your location. So as you can see, it says allowed all the time, allowed only while in use, and then not allowed. So if I click on one of them, here you have 3 different options: allow only while using the app, ask every time, or don't allow. So yeah, definitely good to keep an eye on, but in general, I personally just kind of let every app do its thing. But if you do have specific preferences, this is where you can go to change them. But those were 10 more tips and tricks for the Motorola Moto G 2026. As always, if you enjoyed the video and found it useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to learn more about this phone, definitely check out my other videos about it on the channel because I do have quite a few. But that's it for this one. As always, I will see you in the next one.